Where am I? Something feels wrong. Where's the battle pass? Which season are we on? What's my MMR? It's gone. The tether. I don't feel it anymore. I'm free. It's like riding a bike. Monster kill! Ludicrous!
I forgot how disorienting it is when it starts working.
Unreal Tournament 2004 is back, baby! Yes! I am so excited. So, after Epic Games decided they couldn't afford to host, Mega, Fortnite, Unreal Engine Company could no longer afford to host the 700 megabyte launchers for the original Unreal Tournament games, they have officially shut them down and shut off all the servers, and GameSpy had already gone away for a lot of the server browsing anyway. But they have finally given their official blessing to the Old Unreal community site to officially host the installers for the games and provide updates for it. You can now download a free copy of Unreal Tournament 2004, along with a few other Unreal Tournament titles, from OldUnreal.com. And this version contains not only the game itself, but a couple new community updates that we've just gotten, allowing for ultra-wide support, 4K support, higher performance on the game, and much better Linux and Mac versions if you want to play on there. Of course, you could still just apply their community update patches to your existing Steam, GOG, or disk-based game that you have. You could even still run it on your Windows XP or Power Mac computer if you wanted, although I don't recommend connecting those to the internet these days. It is an option available to you. I play on Linux, so I just went ahead and downloaded the Old Unreal installer, the full installer from their website through their GitHub page, and installed it, and it is glorious. The game runs super smooth, and we did have a Discord community game night this past week where we had a ton of people packed into a server. Now, online, most of the servers have really high ping and are not always a good time. It's fun to join them sometimes, but most of the ones still up at the moment are either for the older version of the client, which may give you issues if you try to join on the new updated version, or they're just really high ping depending on where you're located. And if you don't want to play online, or you just need to get warmed up and practice first, you can just run your own bot matches, which is totally fine. Set them on Adept or something and have at it. Awesome way to go. So I had my lovely Discord moderator that hosts a lot of my websites and things like that throw up a quick Unreal Tournament updated server. We got 50 ms ping to me at least, which felt amazing, and packed a bunch of people in there to do goofy stuff. Of course, we had to do Facing Worlds, we did some CTF, we did some Instagib, which was amazing, and we even did this freaking crazy Tony Hawk Pro Skater map and goofed around on there. And then we started getting other people who weren't participating in the group session game night joining in the server. Oh, and it was a blast. Unreal Tournament 2004 holds a special place in my heart as being a continuation of a wonderful series of multiplayer arena shooters that we just don't get anymore these days, but also being something a little different. It had the traditional arena shooter modes, Unreal Tournament being its own kind of twist on this flair, a little separate from Quake. It doesn't have the bunny hopping and crazy movement tech. It has a little bit, but not the same that Quake does, but instead focuses more on boots on the ground and just hardcore gunplay. But Unreal Tournament 2004 was also made in development partnership with Digital Extremes, the studio behind Warframe, and they're responsible for some of the weirder guns that got added to this game. And they also added this massive big map mode called Onslaught, which is basically planet-side, if you've ever played that. So you've got tons of vehicles, you've got capture points you've got to break down. It is a blast. This game requires you to have some degree of shooter skill and some focus, but beyond that, it is just casual multiplayer fun. There's no microtransactions, no DLC. You got community map packs on, it came with like 90 maps on the disc. If you had the bonus edition with the 2 discs together, you can get community map packs online. This was part of an era where whenever you got a new entry in a shooter franchise, Either the developers themselves or the community just forward ported all maps from previous versions of the game to the new game, so you immediately had a ton of maps to play on from the get-go, plus a bunch of new ones, and then tons of community mod support. This game came with its own mod kit and Copia Maya and all this other cool development stuff so that you could learn how to make your own maps and go get hired by Epic Games to make maps for future games, which was just absolutely brilliant. They wanted to foster the most feature-complete multiplayer gaming experience that you could pay for on disc, as well as provide the tools for you to be empowered to make more content for the game yourself, to keep the game alive, to host your own servers, and to then come work for them if you wanted at the time, of course, and continue developing the game franchise and take it to the next level. We do not get game development like this on the multiplayer front anymore. I wish arena shooters would come back. I want to do my part in hyping up this re-release, as there is literally nothing stopping us from just all going back to this game and having fun with it, and no one has to pay anything extra, which is amazing. There's nothing stopping us. It's just, you know, a lot of people are locked into their live service feeds or whatever's popular on Twitch, and I'm not here for that anymore. I'm here for casual fun. And it was kind of amazing. After my giant breakup, I have a whole video on that if you're interested, with multiplayer shooters, coming back to this kind of casual server browser based experience that doesn't ask any of the grossness of me. It was like getting back on a bike. I immediately felt at home, and I was just kicking ass, and we were all goofing off, having fun, doing ridiculous things. Really, if you're unhappy with the current state of the multiplayer first-person shooter games industry, there's nothing more rebellious. There's nothing more resistant to the current market trends than going back to a game like this that you don't have to pay anything for. You don't have to continue to fund. Maybe you fund your friends get together and pay to host a server or something. I'm gonna look into seeing what it looks like to scale, having like 4 or 5 servers up that I can just say I contributed to the scene, since it's kind of sparse at the moment. But Editor Repo's coming back in here to let you know that I have started this process. I do have one server with low ping, if you're in the Eastern-ish United States, available at ut.instagib.gg. To access this, open up the server browser, click anywhere in the blank space, right-click, open IP. It is listed as Lost Saves UT 2004 server in the server browser under Capture the Flag at the moment, but that'll change, obviously. But right-click, open IP, and then type in ut.instagib.gg. And then from there, once you're in the server, you can add it to your favorites. I'm going to try to keep it populated with bots when there aren't people in it, but it seems like I have to do that manually right now. I'm still messing around with it, and I do want to get a second, maybe even a third server going, because it doesn't cost me anything extra, so that I can have like Instagib as a dedicated server and things like that. But I'm having trouble getting these secondary servers running, but we do at least have one going. Again, that's ut.instagib.gg. Putting my money where my mouth is, supporting this game with infrastructure. To go back to this, to something that does not require horsepower to run. It was obviously made to run on PCs even without dedicated graphics cards back in 2004. So nothing's being asked of you in terms of new hardware. Nothing's being asked of you in terms of commitment, in terms of retention, in terms of continuing to spend money on the game. It's just there for fun. I think we could all do a lot of good, if not for the industry, but for ourselves, to continue to revisit these experiences and to spend time on things that just deliver what we ask of it and doesn't ask more of us than it gives to us, and not in the things that ask too much of us. I think even if we don't impact the industry, that will be quite healing for many of us, especially those of you who have gotten fed up with this scene but maybe never participated back in the day, or were too young, or whatever. We could foster a community around just appreciating games that are there to serve us and provide us the maximum amount of fun. And I don't think there's anything better than that. It's kind of sad too, because Splitgate could have been this. Splitgate 1 was this game for me for a good few years. It was fast, it was quick in and out, it did not ask much of us. There were microtransactions for cosmetics, but that didn't matter. There was community map support porting over all the maps from various games. It was a fun, casual, laid-back arena shooter vibe. And it had such tight controls and low input latency that it became, over on my main channel, my benchmark for input latency in video games. And they just threw all that away with their push to Splitgate 2. And I can't go back. I wish that could have been it, but you know, maybe we'll see more. We're seeing such a big revitalization in the indie game space with regards to really taking over and doing better in so many genres than the AAA games are doing. Maybe we'll see that here too. Or maybe we just, like I said, continue to build up the communities and the infrastructure around these older games. We could keep developing mods for it. We could keep making maps for it. We could keep hosting new servers for it, building communities, scheduling events. Nothing's stopping us. The world is ours as long as we're willing to take it. And that's what multiplayer gaming is all about, really. So go check out OldUnreal.com. This game is a ton of fun. I've seen a lot of comments about how it needs controller support. I guess that one would be okay. I also saw some comments about how it needed to be made available to play on smartphones, and this is not the kind of game you're going to play on a touchscreen. So I don't know about that one. I think if you're going to play, maybe this is old man yells at cloud, but you need a mouse and a keyboard and a screen and some high frame rates. And oh boy, are your frame rates going to be high with this. And just have some fun. Let me know your favorite memories with Unreal Tournament or other arena shooters in the comments below or over on the forums at demodisc.zone. Are you going to be jumping back into this? What other games should we try to repopulate? I did want to say, if you are a fan of this kind of classic retro first-person shooter experience, there is a new demo for Steam Next Fest called Midair 2. This is a kind of revival of the Tribes Ascend style gameplay. They do have a demo with online multiplayer available in Steam Next Fest. Again, that's Midair 2. You might want to go check that one out as well. And otherwise, remember to be kind. Rewind.